Our protagonists of the show are two step-siblings Sora and Shiro. These siblings are total social students and are elite gamers, earning a legendary status for their username blank in the whole gaming industry throughout the world. The siblings are unbeatable at video games, and life was going just as normal for them before they got an anonymous request to play a game of chess. The siblings win the game and receive a request to join a world that works on the principle of playing games. Being bored of the real-world problems, the two accept the offer as a joke and are shocked when they get teleported to a completely different reality called Disboard, a vibrant land overseen by Tet, the entity who teleported them here. Tet explains the 10 commandments of Disboard to them as the pair falls from the sky and afterwards begins their journey to the kingdom of Elkia, the only piece of land left under human control. They come across a girl named Stephanie Dola at a local restaurant who is playing games, and Sora proceeds to play a game of cards himself with a woman. Sora wins the game by cheating better than the woman he was against and proceeds to secure a room at the inn after hinting to Steph that her opponent is cheating. Steph, who had lost her match with Clammy Zell while waging the right to rule Elkia, approaches the siblings and complains that the siblings did not tell her anything about how Clammy was exactly cheating. Sora convinces Steph into playing a game of rock, paper, scissors without declaring the reward up front after manipulating her a little, and succeeds in outsmarting her by playing a simple trick. Since the reward for the match was not declared up front, Steph realized that she had gotten tricked twice, and Sora demands she fall in love with him so she can take care of the siblings' necessities. Steph takes the siblings to the castle and reveals a little history of the kingdom of Elkia, about how it is the only piece of land left for humanity. Humans who are the only one of the 16 races on Disboard incapable of using magic. The siblings determine that this country is about to fall as well and proceed to challenge Clammy, who was the righteous owner of the throne, after her match with Steph to a game with the leadership of Elkia at stakes. Clammy accepts and the game is on as the siblings had made up their minds to help Steph with her belief in the potential of humanity. The initial game was supposed to be a simple game of poker, but Sora pointed out the possibility of Clammy using the help of an elf in their magic, since humans can't detect it anyway. Clammy accepted Sora's request to play another game for the throne, and later revealed her intentions to the siblings alongside her relationship with the Elven Guard. The siblings refuse Clammy's coordinates for humanity's future, and arrive at the cathedral where a game of chess is to be played. Shiro starts out for blank initially and later realizes that standard moves won't work well here since the pieces have wills of their own. Sora steps up to play instead and delivers a charismatic speech to push Clammy back, even though she was using elvish magic to cheat. Clammy starts to use brainwashing magic, turning Sora's pieces into her own, but Sora manages to counter by making Clammy's queen switch sides, ultimately defeating Clammy in a game of her own. After the game, Sora rejects Clammy's plan for humans to work under elven protection, declaring that humans are stronger, and Clammy gets a little sad since she had tried so hard to gain elven trust for humanity. Later, the ceremony for the king is held and gets a little disturbed after the siblings argue about who will be the king. They decide to settle the matter by playing games among themselves, and after having equal wins and losses, come to realize that there was no requirement for a single ruler in the first place. The siblings become the king and queen respectively, and receive the humanity race piece as the final representatives of humanity at the end. They deliver a charismatic speech, declaring war against every other race on Disboard, looking forward to proving humanity's real worth. Blank gets transported to a separate dimension by Tet, who asks them about how they are liking this world so far. They claim to be enjoying it so far and ask Tet about what would it take to replace him as the overseer of Disboard, making Tet interested in the two. He reveals that they will have to get the chess pieces of every other race to challenge him, and the siblings accept the challenge gladly. Sora and Shiro dump the political responsibilities of the nation on Steph and are slacking off around the castle when Steph gets mad and challenges Sora to a game of blackjack in hopes of making him a responsible person. Even with a shuffling trick, Steph loses the match, followed by many more afterwards, and is outside the castle with the siblings when she realizes that they were not just wasting time, but gathering information on the next task. Steph reveals that the only library of Elkia was lost to the Flugel race, and Blank decides to take it back by challenging the Flugel, Gibril, who looks after it. Our duo proceeds to challenge Gibril to a game, wagering 40,000 e-books on their tablet, while Gibril offers herself to them in return, considering the books to be valuable. The game is decided to be Materialization Shiratori, a classic Japanese game with the twist of having mentioned items appear or disappear from the environment around them. The game starts as normal with the scale increases when the siblings use a hydrogen bomb in their offense. Blank uses the lack of scientific knowledge of Disboard to their advantage, and manages to defeat Jibril by removing principles like the Coulomb force from the universe. Jibril accepts her defeat and declares Blank to be the master of the Flugel race from now on, swearing her loyalty to them. Jibril provides the duo with more information about the East Federation alongside her match with the werebeasts. Jibril reveals that the werebeasts are unbeaten, and a big reason behind it is the fact that they remove the memory of the game that is being played afterwards. With some more info gathering, Sora comes to know that the former Elkian king had challenged werebeasts 8 times in the past, losing so much of Elkia's land, and makes fun of the foolish king, Stiff's grandfather, making Steph sad. Steph is feeling bad about Sora's remarks, and is in her room thinking about a memory of how her grandfather told her to give a key to the potential saviors of humanity in the future. Steph is still sad when Jibril calls her back to the library, and she softens up to Sora after finding him trying to figure out the old king's reason for so many challenges. Steph gives the key to Sora, and it turns out that our genius siblings had already solved the puzzle to the room the key led to. The room contained notes from the previous king that revealed that the sole reason behind so many challenges was only to gather information on the werebeasts and their games. Our duo arrives at the Eastern Federation to have a meeting with the werebeast, and they are welcomed by Ino Hatsune, upon whom Sora had played a bluff on their first interaction. Ino and Jibril don't seem to get along too well, and we meet Azuna Hatsune, the werebeast administrator. Sora remarks that he is aware that the werebeast use their senses to judge people instead of actually reading minds, and proceeds to explain the strategy the werebeast have been using to keep winning. Sora reveals that the werebeast have actually been using video games to win their matches, and since it is easy to cheat in a video game, they prevent the players from leaking information about the match to anyone else. Sora blackmails the werebeast by threatening to leak their information about video games to the elves and Bets, the humanity race piece in the game, basically waging humanity's whole future. People of Elkia don't really like this bet and are outside the castle protesting when Sora remarks that he is waiting for someone to arrive first, and gets up to tell Shiro that she must believe in herself and the bond that Blank shares. Shiro wakes up the next day to realize that Sora's existence has been removed from this world completely. She remembers how she was an intelligent girl all alone until Sora came up to her with his family one day offering her to play a game together. Shiro double-checks about the existence of Sora in this world, and gets bothered after no one else believes that Sora ever existed, turning the world into one without colors. Shiro plays a game of chess with Jibril to fix memories of Sora, but Shiro still believes that her memories of Sora are real. She stresses her mind and remembers that Sora once told her that he will be playing a game involving one's existence soon. Sora is revealed to be playing a game of Othello with Clammy, where their existences are correlated to the number of pieces they are left with. Jibril uses her magic to detect any other magical presence in the room, and Shiro finds out the last 3 pieces Sora had left, reducing his presence. Sora passes out losing his existence, and Shiro takes over his place in the match. She plays the most strategic moves possible and wins the match to bring Sora back. After getting back, Sora makes Clammy his ally after he shares his memories with her, adding the final piece to his plan. He also convinces Clammy into giving him the right to alter the memories of the elf Feel, planning to use her as a spy. Sora and Shiro have a nice conversation with Clammy and Feel where they get along with each other while getting to know each other more. The group prepares for the upcoming match with high stakes, and Clammy shows her trust in Sora as a human later on. The group sets on their way to challenge the Eastern Federation, and they are welcomed by Ino, who sets them up with their gear to get into the virtual world. Sora casts a spell on Steph with the help of Jibril, while Clammy and Feel make sure that there is no interruption. The match is made public to avoid any type of cheating, and Sora, Steph, Shiro, and Jibril are transported into the virtual world to face werebeast representative Azuna. The world comes out to be exactly like Toyo in real life, causing problems for our shut-in protagonists, making them claim that humanity may be doomed after all. The siblings return to their senses after realizing that this isn't their home, but just a virtual world in reality. The game is set to be a normal game involving shooting with a gun and heart-shaped bullets that can be refilled by the power of love. Sora and company begin their plan as Stiff is left behind, still clueless about what to do. Shiro scales up to Azuna and begins her attack where Jibril helps her out. The plan is supposed to be working out just fine when Azuna dodges the sniper bullet from Sora, ruining things. The group realizes that Ino is helping Azuna, telling her their locations and state of mind, and readjusts to think of a new plan. Shiro tells Sora to believe in her before she takes a bullet herself to join Azuna's side. Sora and Jibril continue with their plan to take Shiro out, and just when the siblings confront each other, it is revealed that this was all part of the plan. Sora and friends manage to successfully corner Azuna, at last forcing her to use the Bloodbreak ability. remarking that this is finally getting fun for her. With the buff of the blood ability only a few werebeasts possess, Azuna's movements are undetectable by Shiro, and despite Sora's efforts to dodge bullets while charging forward towards Azuna, he ends up getting shot by her. Azuna believes that she has won the battle and tends to calm down a little when the unexpected happens and Azuna gets shot by Steph, who was being carried by an NPC. The siblings reveal this to be their plan all along and explain how exactly they carry this mission out by calculating the movements of the NPC, leading the threat of Steph to be unexpected. Azuna gets sad that they're having fun with the game, led to the devastation of the Eastern Federation's future, but Sora proceeds to calm her down, and she promises to do better the next game. Sometime later, Sora remarks how the challenge is not over as the Shrine Priestess Maiko is still to be dealt with. The group visits Maiko's shrine, and she welcomes them while remarking that this was all part of her calculation. She states that she did not expect the Flugel to get involved in this and proceeds to challenge humanity to a game, looking down on them as inferior beings. Sora decides to play a game of a simple coin toss, and Maiko uses her blood break ability to determine the end result. The coin turns out to be standing on its side, leading to a draw, and Sora proposes that either both of them win or both of them lose. He proposes a treaty where the werebeasts will be under the kingdom of Elkia, forming the Elkia Federation, but the two nations will share their resources so that it'll be beneficial for both of them. Sora explains how he had used Feel's memory alteration to prepare for this day, and the display of intellect makes Maiko respect the sibling, accepting the treaty. Later, Maiko asks the two about their goal, and they reveal the challenge with Tet, leaving Maiko fascinated. Maiko helps the sibling to set a challenge with an old dues afterwards, and the siblings look forward to one of the many challenges on their way to get to play a game with Tet, the overseer of the magical world of Disboard. Make sure to like it. If you enjoyed the video, also give your reviews in the comments section, and subscribe for more anime recaps.